Hey, welcome to Try1025.com. So, Teresa Power was our special guest on the morning show today, talking about the ABCs of yoga for kids. That's her book. But, Teresa, I just love how you're getting kids involved and interested in yoga.
I love teaching children yoga because they're so impressionable at a young age and able to really grasp new ideas and concepts. And that's so important, I think, especially because children, are under siege by obesity, diabetes, stress. I mean, there's so many things going on in our world, that are affecting adults as well as kids. And yoga is one way to help them deal with all that.
Teresa Power on the phone. She wrote the book, The ABCs of Yoga. It's basically a yoga instruction book for kids. Now, Teresa, stop me if I'm wrong, but yoga is one of those practices that you can have throughout your life and not actually ever master, right?
I couldn't agree with you more, and that's an interesting point because it's a discipline also. Because it's like if you just keep on practicing, you become disciplined, which helps young children do better in school because that discipline is very important for school studies. And also it helps their concentration and focus by being able to hold some of the postures for a long period of time, and they're focusing on their breath and their whole body. So, yes, it is a discipline, and there's always somewhere to go. I've been practicing yoga for over 30 years myself, and I still have room for improvement, but that's what's so exciting about it. It's a journey. And I always tell my students it's the journey, not the destination that counts. It's just showing up and suiting up and showing up for practice. And kids just love it. And especially my book, The ABCs of Yoga for Kids, it's just a fun way for kids to do yoga. It's like an alphabet dictionary of yoga poses, and there's really fun, colorful illustrations. For instance, the airplane pose, where they lie on the ground and bring their arms out to the side and lift their arms and legs like they're soaring into the sky like airplanes. They love to pretend they're airplanes.
Cool.
And then it's a darling illustration by my illustrator, Kathleen Reitz, of this little girl in the airplane pose with an airplane next to her in the clouds, in the sky. So it's a really fun way to get kids intrigued by yoga.
Teresa Power on the phone with us. She wrote the book, The ABCs of Yoga for Kids. Now, Teresa, I know that you have a special offer for Try 102.5 listeners coming up here in just a few seconds, but let's talk more about yoga. And it's not just about the physical benefits, but also the emotional benefits that come when you're practicing a discipline.
Well, and that's the thing, and you're right about that, because there are physical as well as emotional benefits. For instance, we talked about earlier, develops discipline because you keep on doing it because you're enjoying it, and the more that you practice, the better you get. And it also, I talked a little earlier about how it increases focus and concentration, and it really promotes calmness and eases stress. So that's one of really the emotional benefits you get out of it. And why yoga is different than other forms of exercise, because yoga really, all it is a combination of breath and movement. So you're using your breath to really deep breathe in through your nose, and then slowly out through your nose. That starts to calm your body. And then as you even try, like, for instance, the tree pose, where I have kids pretend they're trees and they're standing on one leg and bringing the other leg inside their thigh and then bringing their hands in prayer position in front of their hearts. Now, that is not an easy pose to do. You really have to focus on yourself and your breath to be able to stay still in that and balancing on one leg. And it just also creates healthy habits. Like, we get back to that whole topic of basically it's the discipline. It's doing something healthy for yourself every day. And you are getting physical exercise out of it as well, because it takes a lot of effort, especially from young muscles, to be able to hold those postures.
How does yoga help with autism? Because I saw this, and I wanted to hear from you how that correlates.
Well, and that's interesting you brought that up, too, because April is actually National Autism Awareness Month, and which I think is really important. And there's actually a recent study found that elementary school kids with autism spectrum disorder who participated in a daily yoga program had reduced aggressive behavior, social withdrawal, and hyperactivity. And again, the children who practice yoga begin to feel more calm and comfortable in their bodies. And so as a result of that, they experience less anxiety, and it becomes easier for them to control their behavior and emotions. So really, for them, they're very visual. Children on the autism spectrum are very good at imitating things. So that's the beauty of the ABCs of Yoga for Kids, is that it's a great book for kids of all abilities, but especially for children with autism. it really helps them look at the pictures, and they're so fun. Like I described the airplane pose. Well, they can look at that picture and begin to imitate it in their own bodies, and that really helps with their cognitive ability, with regulating themselves, and it's really fabulous. But again, it's a discipline, and they have to work slowly. I mean, because sometimes it's hard for them to be able to sit still, but they have so much fun doing it that they want to keep on doing it, and they're going to gradually get the results.
Teresa Power, the author of the ABCs of Yoga for Kids. Thank you for taking some time to talk to us about the benefits of yoga, the emotional, the physical benefits. Now, you said that you had a special for Try 102.5 listeners?
KYD 2016.
Perfect.
And the website is abcyoga4kids.com.
Teresa Power, author of the ABCs of Yoga for Kids. Thank you for taking some time today to talk to us. abcyoga4kids.com is her website. We'll have all this info, though, with that special code as well up at try1025.com.